This video is brought to you by anti-gravity lithium-ion batteries used by Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha and Monster Energy Kawasaki and many more teams. And you can use the same battery as Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, and others. Anti-gravity batteries offer more power and capacity than the competitors because they give you a larger lithium battery pack. But additionally, they offer features like the world's first batteries with built-in jump starting that will never leave you stranded. So check them out at antigravitybatteries.com.
Hey guys and gals, welcome in to RacerXOnline.com. I am Kris Keefer and you are staring at a 2023.5 KTM 450 SXF Factory Edition. I will slow it down now. That's right, that's a lot of words, a lot of things going on, but it's already new bike season. It's crazy. Here we are in February, almost March, and we have the Factory Edition, and we're gonna break it down here, right in my hometown in Hesperia, California. We've actually had some weather in California, so a lot of these tracks are flooded out. So why not go do some riding that I love the most? Wet desert, there's nothing better. It gets me excited. I have a brand new orange bike. It's like Christmas morning for me and the guys here. So we're gonna break down this machine and give you some information on it. And let's face it, is the juice worth the squeeze? This MSRP is higher than the standard edition, so we'll break down what is different and if those changes are felt out here on the track, and if you guys should go buy one of these. I mean, the orange frame itself is probably worth the price because I love an orange frame versus the black, but I'll bring some other guys in here, give you another opinion, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. Watch these action shots, and we'll be right back. Okay, how's it going? I'm back. Kris Keefer, Kenny Day. I brought him along to break down this Red Bull KTM Factory Edition 2023.5. It is a beautiful looking bike. I will say this, I've had this in my shop for about a week. And every time I walk out to get a water, maybe a beverage, other adult beverage, I stop and look at this thing for about a minute or two, and then my wife yells at me, "What took you so long to get my adult beverage?" Well, I was sitting there admiring this bike. So visually, I think it's one of the best looking factory editions, if I could say that word, factory editions out there right now. I do like the Honda Works edition, but for me, I'm a sucker for orange. I really think I like that. So Kenneth, you've ridden, yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You've been riding all different kinds of bikes with me. So
I have.
for me, really quick, let's break this thing down. Engine feeling, I will say this to you guys out there. If you are purchasing this bike, give yourself 7 to 8 hours to break in the engine. It will free up. Give yourself 7 to 8 hours to free up the suspension. Yes, the AER fork is a little crusty at the beginning of its stroke. It is a little bit of a rigid feeling bike because it is brand new. And of course, this new generation KTM frame is stiffer than the last generation, but just calm down, don't freak out on me. Send me an email saying, it's stiff, what do I do? You need 8 hours. So take a deep breath, relax, and now Kenny, tell us what you think about the chassis.
Well, I'll say I'm going to start with what you said about the way it looks. He rolled this thing out of the van today, and of course, immediately I'm just drooling. This thing's beautiful. The orange, the pipe, the graphics, everything. You definitely think you're going to go faster on this thing. But hey, started riding it, and immediately chassis was something I noticed. It was a bit different than the ones I've ridden in the past. This was 2 years ago. I was riding a KTM and a Husky. So this, yeah, is more rigid to me. First couple laps out, hitting jumps, I wouldn't have known the difference if I was on a red bike. It felt like that. I had that feeling of, wow, this thing is rigid. Forks, everything was high in the stroke, a lot of hold up. And it took me a little bit before I started to feel comfortable to just like set into the turns.
For me, so I got to break in a lot of these bikes earlier, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So I noticed a little bit of vibration compared to the Japanese bikes. You guys can help that along with some Pro Taper bars. The neck and stock bars are stiff in nature. Lock-on grips, I'm not a huge fan of lock-on grips just because you add more rigidity on the left side with the lock-on device. But for me, it corners really well. You have a lot of front end feel minus the air fork. I still feel like I can dive into a rut really nice. I brought a Yamaha here today, and just riding this thing down to here, I feel like it's narrow, it's light feeling. We're already freeing up the engine. I think we're around 3 hours on this bike right now. There is a blend of stability and cornering progress for me. I like when I can come into a corner and I don't have to sweep. I can just use the insides and just dive in. If you guys have been watching Cooper Webb lately on the Supercross broadcast, he has been mastering the inside ruts. Like if you want to see where he makes up chunks of time, this bike, what he has right now, is just unbelievable how far he can cut down. So for me, if you're having problems cornering, this bike will help you. Suspension wise, we gave it stock for 10.9 bar. Sorry, it's cold out here, my lips are frozen. But if you guys are a little lighter, I'm 170, Kenny's 155. It says 10.9 bar. I would start a little bit lower, maybe 10.7, 10.8 bar, and then turn in your compression a little bit. That will help. But the add-ons you get, obviously you have this, I don't know how to say this seat, Sella della Valle. I probably screwed that up.
Butchered.
But basically, your butt will not move. You'll stay in this right where you need to be. But you also might want to wear a chamois when you ride, because it's going to eat your ass up. Trust me. Yes, I said ass. Sorry, Spencer's laughing behind the camera. But a Krapovich slip-on. Obviously, you have the factory edition clamps, which do help front end comfort. You have Dirt Star rims. Talk about the engine. Do you like the delivery? It is a smooth delivery.
It is a smooth delivery. It's usable power though, I will say that. When you need it to be there, it'll be there, but just roll on out of the corners, it could feel a little sluggish in the beginning. Once it starts to break in, I'm sure it'll liven up it a little bit. But for sure, the first 15, 20 minutes we were riding this thing, I feel like I was a little aggressive on the clutch and wanted a bit more. But as I rode it throughout the day, it got better.
Are you the type of rider that likes a lot of front side engine character, or are you more of a smoother roll-on type of? I mean, you're 155 pounds, so.
Correct. So me holding on to a 450 can be a challenge at times. So I think in deep conditions, like we had some deep corners today, of course, I want that snap, that hit to kind of get me out and get me moving. Out here on the West Coast, so we get some hardpack stuff, I want to prefer to have that low lug roll-on power. I think this bike, as far as an engine package, kind of allows you to do both.
Yeah. For me, there's about 2 or 3 bikes that I would consider purchasing. This is in that group. One, it's really reliable, very durable. If you guys are out there saying, I never heard of a KTM being durable, but honestly, I've had great luck with my KTM test bikes that I've had, upwards of 80 to 100 hours, and no problems. The clutch life on these are amazing. I'm kind of a clutch slipper and a dragger, so I go through clutches a lot. 30 hours or more for me is a lot on a clutch. That is no problem on this bike. For me as well, I like a linear character. I would like a little bit more excitement to make it feel a little bit lighter in corners. But if you have a stock 23 KTM 450 and then you put this up against it, this is a little bit less exciting down low. So low end RPM response is a little bit smoother, and then it climbs up farther than your stock KTM 450. So I prefer this type of power because it forces me to roll my corners better and get on the gas sooner. I don't know if you have this problem, but I'll have lap times, or I'll have my Lit Pro on and I'll get on this bike and then I'll have my Yamaha. I feel faster on my Yamaha, but the lap times say I'm faster on this. And the only thing I can come up with is I get on the gas sooner with this bike because it doesn't feel as fast. So I can just mat that throttle and then I can get through that corner faster than I can on my Yamaha because the Yamaha has more front side excitement. So if you're scared of 450 cc's of Fury, like Kenny and I are,
Yep.
This bike actually will help you because it's linear, doesn't have a lot of that low-end excitement. It won't scare the crap out of you when you're trying to roll a corner or do something. So other bits and pieces you think that you like about this bike?
Overall,
I mean, you're on a Suzuki right now, right?
Overall, I will totally say hitting this button is pretty nice. I've been riding Suzuki, as Chris said, and it's something you take it for granted. Having a button.
Yeah.
I think also to go back to just maintenance about the difference between this bike or even like a Suzuki is to change a filter on this thing is nothing. You just pop the side off, super easy. All the maintenance I feel like on this bike is very easy.
You're looking about a little over $2,000 more for this bike, maybe $2,500 more than the standard edition. If you have $10,000 for a new motorcycle, I feel like you might have a couple grand more to spend extra if you want something that looks really racy. And for me, it's worth it. You're getting a muffler that helps the power character. You're getting the clamp, for me, that helps front end feel. Once this fork breaks in, it does get better. Most of you KTM guys go to a spring conversion, which helps this bike out a lot and gives you more front end traction. So I do think this factory edition is worth it compared to the standard edition, just for those two things right there. If you got this bike all year, what would you do to it? 3 things really quick for the people out there. What would you do?
3 things right away. I hate to say it, but I'd go to a spring fork.
Okay.
That's a big thing for me. I want to be able to have less hesitation coming into the turns, and the spring fork does that for me. I feel like I can trust it. I can set in when I need to. Outside of that, I actually really enjoy it just the way that it is. I would change grips, and I would probably change bars. Overall, though, I'm very satisfied with this.
And you know, I rag on air forks a lot, but for me, there is some comfort within the WP AER system. For me, the thing that I don't like and I don't find attractive is how much it changes throughout the day. If I'm out here on this track for 4 to 5 hours, the fork will actually change for the duration of the day. It will not feel the same. Sure, the track does change over time, but on a spring fork, I just have more consistency than this air fork. So WP has been doing a good job of evolving this and getting more comfort. I just need more consistency. And so maybe if we have a wish list, maybe someday KTM will have a factory edition with a spring fork. Imagine that. So that would be nice.
Yeah, I think people would sign up for that pretty quick.
The fastest gear guy out there right now is this guy.
I don't know.
I had a couple guys out there complimenting how good you look on a motorcycle.
Thanks.
So I appreciate you helping us out here. If you have any questions about this bike, Kris at KeeferIncTesting.com. I'm happy to help you guys out. And don't forget, we have more videos over on RacerXOnline.com here soon. And we'll get Kenneth back here again, maybe 2 more months. Guess what? 2024s are coming out, so we'll see you soon.
Yep.